skilled, very conscientious. And then Marcus Edmond. Marcus Edmond is another guy that was on the bubble for us. So, we're in good situation at corner. We just gotta develop them and get them ready for prime time this spring and this summer.
I think Brent said last month that Stewart he thinks is ready for a breakout year. Can you reflect on?
Well, he's one of those guys that your heart feels good when you see him. Moving the way he's moving. I mean, he did some excellent things for us, especially, got our special teams player of the year again this past year, and was really, I think, ready for a bigger role last year. But he had Spencer Shuey, and that's just, so he's had to develop some patience. But he's gotten some good experience. He's very confident, and he's ready to seize the moment. He'll go into the spring as he and Stephon will be our starters at Mike and Will. We got a lot of good young talent there. But man, I'm really excited for Tony Stewart, and looking forward to watching him this spring and seeing how he responds as being the guy going into it. It's really his to lose as we go into this thing. So. Brent's excited about him and fired up, so we'll see what kind of spring he has.
Maybe talk about some other outlets, but what's your take on the so-called tempo rule that's up for debate now? Do you really feel that's a legit safety risk to run 10 seconds off the clock, or what's your take on that?
No, I do not think that's a safety risk, and I think that's been kind of documented with different people's research or whatever. I think it, as I said a week or so ago, I talked to somebody. I think that I just think that there's an agenda there. That's the bottom line. And my thing is, where does it stop? I mean, are we going to say, okay, when a guy motions across, we can't snap the ball till he gets reset? I mean, where do these things stop? I don't see it as a problem. The offensive guys are usually playing more snaps than the defensive guys, and the truth of the matter is, I mean, even if you look at us, we don't. It's not very often that we snap the ball inside those first 10 seconds, but there's times when we do want to do that, and that is, just one of the basic things of offense. Ability to snap the ball when you want to snap it, and I would hate to lose that flexibility. I mean, and everybody says, well, player safety, but we're not going to have it in the final 2 minutes. Well, okay, so we don't care about them in the final 2 minutes? It doesn't make any sense to me. And, what if you're down 3 touchdowns with 4 minutes to go? You want to go. And, part of the winning football games is, the strength conditioning, the mental toughness, all of those type of things. Everything's a factor. And, I can tell you this, our guys are in shape because we train that way. Our guys are mentally tough because we train that way, practice that way. And, we got guys playing a bunch of snaps. I mean, most defensive guys are rolling in and out of there. I mean, how come the guy out at UCLA that's playing both ways, is that player safety? Heck, he's playing both ways. So I just don't buy into that. And if you really think about it, this game, it's really kind of slow. How many times, Lord have mercy, we must have 22 TV timeouts every single game. Plus we get 3. Maybe we should just give everybody an extra timeout. I mean, I just think, heck, I think about Nolan Richardson in the 40 Minutes of Hell back when I was coming up when he was at Arkansas. Them boys were pressing from baseline to baseline and running and gunning, and I think you do what you do. You get better, you stop it, whatever it is. Everybody has their own issues. There's a lot of things defensively I wish we could change too. But I think that we have a great game. I think it's exciting, and to have to hurry up and sit there and wait to snap the ball, I don't see that as something that should be a part of our game. I think there's plenty of time. If you're subbing They stand over the ball. They let you get in there. Most of the teams, really aren't snapping the ball until in the 20s, probably, the fast-paced teams. So it's just like, why put a rule in? It really doesn't matter, in my opinion. But what do I know?
You sound, obviously you don't want it to happen. Do you think this is something that could happen?
I do not, but I guess anything is possible. There's been a lot of things I didn't think could happen that have happened along the way. But I really think it's there's a lot more things out there we need to be worried about than whether we snap the ball with 32 seconds or 36 seconds or 28 seconds. I don't think that should be one of them.
What about the possibility of the ACC going to a 9-game schedule?
Well, and I've been on record with that many times. I'm for the 8-game schedule. Because I like the flexibility that comes with that, and being able to play Georgia, play Auburn, whoever it is. I like that, but and then also when you go to the 9-game schedule, you're going to have 5 road games every other year. So there's proponents and there's pros and cons on both sides. Listen, I'm gonna get them ready to play, and we're gonna play whatever schedule, whenever they say, wherever. But just my opinion, and if I have a vote, I vote for the 8-game. Just again, simply because we're gonna play South Carolina every year, and I really like the flexibility of being able to play another type of team outside of our conference.
With the Notre Dame deal, did you think this issue was dead when Notre Dame came on board?
I did, but I just think it's a reaction from some other conferences and TV and all that kind of stuff.
After 4 years of wanting having a stronghold on the Sam spot, who are the candidates to compete for that? Yeah,
Quandon he's a guy that nobody really talked much about, but just very steady, and we're gonna miss him. First of all, we'll start out with Wiggins, kind of being our nickel Sam there this spring. He'll cross train at nickel and at safety. Good football player. A lot of times, we don't see the 2-back set, so you prepare. We've kind of recruited that way. If you look at the body types that we have at that position, T.J. Burrell, he's a guy that's got to grow up, and get committed. He's one of those young men that's very talented, but his work ethic and his commitment is going to have to improve if he's going to reach his potential. And very talented, and so I'm excited to see him can run. He's strong, he's physical, he's got the whole tool set, but just really applying it on a day-to-day basis is where he's got to grow up this year going into his sophomore season. And then Dorian O'Daniel is as advertised. He is a very talented young prospect, can fly, is physical, he loves it, has had a really good fall in preparing for his opportunity this spring, and I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. So we'll go into it with Corinne and TJ and Dorian O'Daniel. And then we always have the ability when we get into some of those, bigger sets that we may face from time to time offensively. B.J. Goodson has played some Sam for us if we need a bigger body to get on the line on a tight end and that type of stuff. But that's how we'll go into it this spring is Wiggins and Burrell and O'Daniel. And then Travis Blanks, when we get him back, we're going to slide him back more into that nickel Sam role that he played as a freshman.
Going back real quick to offensive line, Isaiah Battle, there's been questions about his maturity and his ability to take that over. Because of your situation at O-tackle, has he taken that next step? Is he a real leader at that spot now?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a great leader yet, but he's trying. I'm pleased with Big Isaiah. He's trying. It's hard to believe he's going to be a junior. It really is. It goes so fast. But he did an excellent job for us to finish up the season down the stretch. I think he's matured a ton. I think he's come a long way. And, I think he's still developing himself into what he's capable of being. But we do need him. That's one of the things that I've talked to him about is he is a junior. And we need him to become a leader. But the best way that he can lead right now is just being fully committed, doing the right things, leading by example. And he's done a solid job of that.
Kind of off subject. Has something changed that's allowed y'all to start recruiting junior college guys?
Well, we've got some new majors that have been added here, and it's hard for us. I think it's been pretty well documented, and I'm not real sure on. We don't have all the majors in place right now. We're not ever going to be a junior college school as far as where we're going out and signing a bunch of JUCO guys. That's not really the philosophy that we have in here. First of all, even if we could get them in with no problem, but it's hard for us to recruit a junior college guy. It's very hard unless you place them there, or you're there, or you're really on them early, and you can kind of help map out the schedule, because we just don't have a lot of degree programs here that guys can transfer electives in and all that kind of stuff and meet the NCAA percentage rule that you have to have, degree completion percentage rule. So that's the biggest problem that we face. There's a lot of guys out there that, there's no way we could get them in here. And it's not that Clemson says no, it's just with the curriculums that we have in place, it'd be hard for them to meet the NCAA rule to be eligible. So, but from time to time you may come across a guy that there's a chance. And so we explore, those opportunities every single year at a critical position. But hopefully that's something that's going to continue to improve.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just back to the schedule thing. As you go into this first year of the new playoff, 9 months from now, have you given thought to the fact that the whole template on scheduling may be reassessed based on teams that get picked because of the eye test they passed, and that could be a whole different conversation?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. I know there's always a lot of talk about that this time of year in basketball, for example. Everybody talks about strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff. I really, to be honest with you, whether we're playing 9 conference games or 8, I don't really worry about our strength of schedule. I think that we're going to always, if we take care of business, we'll be there. But again, for me, it just goes back to, having that flexibility. But it could go the other way where, people, are looking more at strength of schedule. And you know what? You can schedule things out in advance, and then when it comes time to play that team that was so good and going to help you with your strength of schedule, maybe they're terrible that year. So, it's hit or miss. You never really know.
In your efforts to try to minimize distractions and from all directions, if you had a player like Michael Sams came to you and said, "Coach, I'm gay and I just want to be open about it," how would you handle that with your team and within your locker room, or would you prefer not to have to deal with that?
I mean, we deal with a lot of things in today's world. That's no different than some other things that I've dealt with along the way. I think that's what makes football great. I think that football is, a great game of influence, as far as teaching team and appreciation of each other's role, and what somebody's doing in their bedroom, it's really not my business, first of all, and it really doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they can catch a ball, throw a ball, or tackle a guy, or block a guy on 3rd and 1. It really doesn't. Now I understand the issues that we deal with from a society standpoint and all that kind of stuff. Everybody has their own personal beliefs and opinions, but in the game of football, in a team, if you're truly a team, you have to accept each other for who they are. And if somebody came to me with that, I would. I mean, it's like I said, it's really not my business. But if it's something they wanted to address, then they certainly would encourage them to, address that with their teammates. But I think it's something that's been around a long time. I think that maybe it's just, you got different people that are, speaking publicly about it right now and all that kind of stuff. So, but the game of football brings many, many different things together. Cultures, races, religions. It's what makes it great. It's what makes it the greatest game out there. You know, you got 85,000 people that show up in this stadium, and there's a lot of these people in this stadium that wouldn't have anything to do with each other Monday through Friday. Nothing.